Alright, you knew this was coming. Eventually I would have to tackle the Seer, and we finally arrived at that point in time. Woohoo. But let me make a couple of things very clear before we start. First of all, this is not for any kind of new player. If you're just starting out in Warframe and care about your time, your resources, or I don't know, having an actual good secondary weapon, then this is not the weapon for you. Go build the Atomos. Scoot, go. Just go. Now, even though this is a pretty badly famed weapon, that's not gonna stop me from doing everything in my power to max it out. As always, my name is Leyzar, and this is the Seer. Let's begin by checking out how the weapon handles without any mods equipped, and for that we're just gonna be taking a couple of free shots. Now, the Seer is a projectile based weapon, so you will have to contend with a travel time. Now, the projectile speed, the actual travel time, is not totally horrible, but the Seer seems to be detonating upon impact. Well, the projectile seemed to be detonating upon impact and dealing some AoE damage. But unfortunately, that is just a visual effect. It doesn't really do any AoE damage, as you can see. Now, if you're the type of sharpshooter and you always wanted plus zoom, rest assured that this weapon has some extra levels of zoom. So, as you can see, it zooms in more than most weapons. Now, that's normally not what we really look for in basically any weapon, but you might like it, so there you go. Now, that's enough for the functionality. This is a semi-weapon, because why wouldn't it be? And this would be the maximum fire rate. Now, let's have a look at them stats a bit more closely so you can see what the Seer could actually do. My weapon has been formatted a total of 6 times. My friends, I only did this for the sake of the review. Do not do this. If you're a new player starting out in Warframe, save your resources. Link the cards right now for the Atomos. Build that one, format that one, enjoy that one, and leave this one alone. This is for veterans that have nothing else to do. So the accuracy is 16, which is not bad. So what about Magnum Force? Will it work? Well, let's slap on some multi-shot and find out. Lethal Torrent and Barrel Diffusion. Accuracy goes to 8.5 and the resulting accuracy is pretty much non-playable unless you want to use it like sort of a shotgun. If you want to use it like sort of a shotgun, then sure, it does work. But normally you can't really play into Magnum Force, which is a crying shame considering the rest of the stats of the Seer. Since you can't really play into critical chance and critical damage, then you might want to go full into damage. So Magnum Force would have worked fantastically well, but it doesn't, so here you go. Critical chance, what critical chance? 5% base, and the critical multiplier is horrible as well at 1.5x. So needless to say, building this weapon into crit will require outside sources, outside buffs, something like bonus additive after, like Harrow, but more on that just a tad later. A fire rate of 2, magazine of 8, and a reload of 2.8 seconds, but the Riven disposition is 5 out of 5, which means that we're gonna be able to leverage really awesome Rivens for the Seer. That's its one saving grace. Status chance 13%, which is not completely horrible. I mean, you can work with it. And the damage on the weapon, you have the full array of IPS, Impact, Puncture, Slash, each of them at 33.7, totaling over 100 damage for a no MR weapon. So it's not totally horrible, and yes, you can work into Slash if you so desire. You can go into Maim, work into Status Chance, build Viral. Trust me, you really don't want to do that, just like you don't really want to build this weapon. But let's have a look at the final build. We got damage with Hornet Strike as well as... Wait, you shouldn't be here, at least not just yet. Damage with Hornet Strike as well as Augur Pact. Barrel Diffusion and Lethal Torrent will bring on the multi-shot, and of course we got an elemental combo on the weapon that should be built depending on your own circumstances. I'm gonna be shooting the Corrupted Heavy Goons level 120, so in my case I'm gonna go for Corrosive. Yes, it's 60s over 90s if you're doing higher level content. If you will do high level content with this thing, but that doesn't matter. What does matter is the Seer Toxi Visican. We got a Riven for this one. It's got damage, multi-shot toxin, and minus damage to Grenier. Now in this test, minus damage to Grenier will not affect me since I will be shooting Corrupted, but normally that's not exactly the most harmless of negatives. Minus zoom on the Seer would be fantastic. And if you're looking for the optimal Seer Riven for whatever reason, you want to go with damage, multi-shot, and a harmless negative. Or even better yet, if this one can roll minus IPS, go for minus IPS so you can proc your element, or minus zoom, because let's be honest, the zoom is a tad annoying. Now Augur Pact can be present on the build considering the values over here. Okay, my corrosive is 10,000, IPS times 4 is going to be somewhere around 4,000 something, so corrosive is #1 proc priority, at least in this case. So let's see what the weapon can do. No Warframe buffs, and then we're gonna do our absolute best to get the weapon to kill like a monster. Alright, you guys ready for this? Here we go. Full fire rate. Yeah, it didn't do much. Honestly, it didn't do all that much, but there are plenty of secondary weapons in Warframe that can kill a level 120 corrupted heavy gunner in a single clip. Honestly, for a no MR weapon, what did you expect? Again, this weapon is for veteran players that know exactly what they're getting into. If they want to challenge themselves to see if they can make a horrible secondary weapon into something decent. Now, is this something decent? Yeah, it is something decent for level 20s, 30s, 40s, something like that, but not for higher level content. Unless you want to rely on Warframe buffs to pump up the damage. So for that, we can give the Seer something that it doesn't have. What it doesn't have? Critical chance, right? And critical damage for that matter, because why the hell not? So we're gonna jump into the build of the Seer and make one slight modification. We're gonna be dropping Augur Pact and we're gonna go with Prime Target Cracker. There we go. So we're gonna give it critical damage up to 3.2x, as our critical chance will be coming from Lord Harrow, and this will be the best chance this weapon has at performing. So let's have a look at Lord Harrow. And Harrow will be using Corrosive Projection as it is ideal versus Grineer. But if you want to go for Pistol Lamp, that's also a pretty good idea, considering that Pistol Lamp will grant its benefit regardless of the target. You can take it one step further, you can use Coaction Drift, but honestly the difference is minute, so bear that one in mind. As for Arcanes, yes, Harrow does give you 200% critical chance on headshot bonus additive after, but that's only on headshot. When it comes to body shots, you're looking at 50% fully stacked out. So we can go to Arcane Avenger to get 30% more, both for body shots and headshots as well. Now this Arcane is fantastic. If you don't have it just yet, from the third Eidolon down on Cetus, you can farm it or you can buy it if you just don't like Eidolon hunts. It is pretty good because that 30% critical chance bonus additive after will be applying to everything, primary, secondary, melee, but not to Warframe abilities. And you can also double stack it. For a full tutorial on Arcanes, link in the cards right now. As for our second Arcane, we're going to be using Arcane Precision R3 on headshot, 80% chance for plus 100 and 20% damage to pistols for 8 seconds, and the usual plus 1 Arcane Revive. Now, let's spawn in those Corrupted Heavy Goons, level 120, and I'm going to unpause the AI so they can hit me and I can get my glorious buffs. Now let's see what the Mighty Seer can do. Or was it the Mighty Kraken? I don't know. Something was mighty. Either this or the other one. Now Harrow's 4th ability will grant me that critical chance, and guys, if you don't have Harrow just yet, I know the grind is a pain in the butt, but you want this frame. He is so freaking fantastic. His second ability will grant me fire rate as well as reload speed. Now let's see what the Seer can do with the buffs from Harrow. And that is, my friends, a 2-shot from the Seer, which is more than respectable. But let's be honest here, this is only happening because of Lord Harrow. Because of these extreme Warframe buffs, we also slapped on some extra critical damage. Because again, critical chance without critical damage is essentially pointless. So should you build this gun? If you care about your resources at all, if you care about performance, this is not the weapon for you. Honestly, only vets play with this gun once in a while, just to see if they can make something out of it. Just to see if it's as bad as everybody says. And yes, it is one horrible secondary weapon, but my friends, it's supposed to be. This is a no MR weapon that you get from Vor. To be honest, I'm sad that the weapon doesn't perform better than it does, simply because it looks so cool. Honestly, the first time I saw the blueprint, I thought, wow, that's gotta be one awesome weapon, especially considering that you get it from killing Vor, which at that time, at the very least, I thought was some kind of cool boss that is very hard to do, and my team carried me. So no, my friends, this is not a fantastic secondary weapon. I'm not sure if you needed me to tell you that, but again, if you want a challenge in Warframe, go for the Seer. As always, my name has been Leyzar. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, favorite, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. If you got any sorts of feedback for me, I would love to read it in the comments section down below. If you would be interested in seeing a mighty battle between the Kraken and the Seer, just to see which is better or which is worse, depending on your point of view, please let me know in the comment section down below as well. You can also catch me on Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, all the usual places. Until next time, my friends. Bye-bye. Magnum Force together with multi-shot, because you gotta have multi-shot to see the full effect of negative accuracy effect. Fuck. Fire rate of 2, magazine of 8, and a reload of 2.8. I'm sorry. Here we go.